All right, so let's now consider manipulating the list itself. Right. So certainly we can add, we can remove, we can manipulate an individual widget. Let's take a look at, for instance, and reordering and moving things up and down, right? By adding a couple of buttons here that will allow us to do that, right? So let's add a couple of buttons in the widget list in the component, and this is the UL right here. This line item. This line item is what is rendering each one of those widgets. Yes, and we already have buttons to delete, right? To remove a particular widget. Let's add a couple more buttons here. Button class name, float right. Button, and this will be, what is it, warning? I don't know, I forget what color is warning. Up, and then down. There we go. So we have up and down, and what we want to do is that if we click on down, right, that widget will move down, right? And if we click on up, it'll move it up. Right. Now, a cool thing to do here is that depending on the, if you're at the top, perhaps you would hide the up. If you're the last one, you would hide the down. Right? That'd be a nice touch. But let's keep it simple. So what we're going to do is that first we need to notify somebody that you clicked one or the other. Remember, it's not our responsibility to handle any of these events. Right, or modify anything, right? It's always the same pattern. We notify someone that something occurred, right? In the model view controller design pattern, it's the same thing, right? The view is never responsible for modifying any data, right? It always notifies the controller, and the controller will then delegate to the right person who handles that. Okay, so same thing here. Right, we don't alter any of the data. Instead, we notify the appropriate authorities. So what we're going to do is that here's that on click. So on click, we're going to notify somebody. We're going to say that we want to go up, right? Move up. We need to pass some argument saying who are we? Right? It is us that we're moving up, right? So that it can distinguish which widget is the one that we're moving around. Okay, so what we'll do here is that we'll pass the ID of the widget. We'll say widget dot ID. Okay, and if we click on down, we'll do something similar. Obviously, this is in this dot props, right? You know, it's being mapped to us. Somebody's passing it to us as an argument, right, as a property, right? And so for this will be down. This will be on click, will be down. Oops. Everybody okay? All right. All right, so who passes this? The container passes it to us, right? Okay, so if we go to the container is the one who passes all our functions, right? Up. And here we have the widget ID as an argument. And then we're going to dispatch. We dispatch this to the reducer. The reducer is the one who manipulates the state, right, who's going to do the actual work. So let's do that. We're going to say dispatch, and the action, the type action, we'll call it maybe just up, right? And it'll need the widget ID. Or down, right? So let's do up and down. So down, and this will be down. Okay, all right. All right. So now the one who's responsible for manipulating the state now is receiving all the information that it needs. It knows that a particular widget has been either moved up or down. Right? How we actually do it, how we actually manipulate the state, well, that's up to the reducer, right? So let's go to the reducer, and the reducer, here's the reducer. And the reducer can now handle these two new states. So this will be up, right, and down. And for now, let's just return the state. We're not going to do anything for now. We just want to make sure that we're getting here. Oops. We don't need this colon. All right, let's make sure that we do a console log, and we have the widget ID that is being passed to us. Action widget ID is being passed to us, right? Going up. And here going down. Okay? Just make sure that we're even getting there. All right, so let's refresh. Let's clear this, and if we click on down, that's the widget ID 39 that says that we're going to go down, right? Or it's going to go up. So I can click on this, right, and see that now 38 is going to go up, or it's going to go down. Yes? So definitely the reducer is receiving all the information that it needs. Okay? All right. So how can we do this? Well, in both cases, it's going to have to find the widget that it needs to move around. Yes? Once it knows which one, it's going to have to do some surgery on the array. It's going to have to maybe remove the element from the array and put it in a different place. Right? So let's first identify where is it found in the current state. Right, in the current state widget. Okay, so let's do that. We can say we can iterate over the state dot widgets, right? And ooh, there's a find index. Okay. I don't think I've used find index. Anybody know what find index takes as an argument? Probably a function that checks to see a comparison. Probably, right? Probably takes as an argument the widget, and when you return true, probably return the index of where it was true. Probably, I'm just guessing. So it's a widget.id if it matches the action.widget ID. And let's do another console here so we can print out the index that we found. Okay, let's see if our intuition is right. Okay, that's 0. The down. Okay, we didn't do the down. We only did the up. All right, so it says 0. Okay, so this one that looks right, right? This one is in position 0, position 1, position 2. Okay, so it is finding the index of where is it right now in the array. Yes? Okay. So similarly, we'll probably need exactly the same thing in down. We'll probably need exactly the same thing in down. Yes? Okay. All right, so what do we do now that we know that it's in that particular index? What we could do is we could splice out that widget, that particular widget, and splice it out from the array. And then if it's up, then we need to splice it back in the index -1. Or if it's down, it'll be in the index +1. Yes? So we're only just manipulating the array. Okay, so we'll call this the from index. There's the from index. Right? And then we'll calculate the to index. So let the to index, so will be from index. Since it's going up, then it would be from index minus. Yes? Whereas in the down, it'll be ++. So now we know where we want to take it from and then put it back in. Yes? Right? So let's do that. Let's first see if we can remove it. Let's see if we can remove it at least. So we don't need this console. Let's remove these consoles. Let's see if we can remove it at least. We can say return the state would be widgets. The new widgets would be the old widgets, state.widgets. But having spliced out, actually no, I think we need to splice it out before we do that, right? We say let new widgets will be the old widgets, state dot widgets, splicing, splice out. I forget the syntax. I think it's you give it the index where you want to splice and how many you want to splice. I think that's the index. I think that's the syntax. And here we have new widgets, and we're gonna replace this right like that. Yes? So right now this would be as if you're just removing them, right? Because we're never putting them back, right? Let's see if we at least we have that. Let's see if we have at least that. So that's up, right? So let's see. Let's oops. What is it complaining? Module build failed, duplicate declaration from index. Oh, we have two from index here, right? So we can say we'll declare it only once here. From index, and let to index. Okay. So that's up, right? So let's see if we do up. Uh-oh. They all went away. Maybe splice is not like that. Oh, I know. Splice. I think what splice does, it does splice it out, but what it returns is the actual widget that was spliced out. That's its return type. So no, that's not what I want. Yeah, exactly. So what we'll do is the following. Let's do something like that. So this will be, this is the one we're retrieving. We're going to say 0, meaning that's the one we're retrieving. We're going to remove it, but we want to splice it back in. So we're going to do state.widgets.splice, because splice has two syntaxes, right? So if you give it, if the second argument is different than 0, then it means that you're removing, right? If instead of 0, that means that you're not removing, you're actually inserting, okay? Is that right? So we're splicing out, and the index that we're inserting is a to index, comma 0, comma, like that. I think that's right. Okay, let's try that out. And then the new widgets would go in here. All right, so let's try it out. Let's refresh. All right, so let's move maybe the heading widget. Let's say up, and it didn't work. I think I just want to return state widgets, and that's it. And don't care about this. See, up. Widgets, let's do a console. Log state widgets. Let's see if we can step through this. So up is not changing. There's a console. Okay. Well, it looks like the heading widget actually did go up. Right, it used to be the third position, and now it's in the second position. Let's see if we can step through this. We can look at the source, and we can go in the source. We can look at the reducer, the widget reducer, and we can see what happens in the up before and after. So if we put a breakpoint there, let's refresh, and we do the heading widget and we say up. Let's look at the widgets before we do this. Notice that the heading widget is in the third location, right? 0, 1, 2. Yes? Right. And right after that, let's look at the widgets now. Notice that it moved up. It actually did work. Right? It did actually work, so it did move it. But the state is kind of lazy, right? And says, well, it's the same number of objects, right? It's the same. Each object is actually the same object. The pointers are the same, right? So it's kind of doing a lazy check and saying, I don't really think nothing did change. Okay, so it doesn't notify everybody else that something did change and we need to re-render the DOM. Right, so we need to force this. We need to force this, and the way we're going to force this is that we're going to copy. We're going to do a deep copy. We're going to say let widgets be an object dot assign state dot widgets. So this is going to do a deep copy, right, of whatever objects is already there, and it's going to have exactly the same content, but it's not going to have the same pointers. Right? So as far as it's concerned, widgets has exactly the same content, right, but it doesn't have the same pointers. So when it does a comparison, it says, oh, this is a completely different object. So let's try that out. Okay. So let's try that out. Let's refresh, and let's move this up, and it still doesn't work. Widgets assign, let widgets, let's see, up, widgets is the third. And now widgets, what do we have for widgets? It's the correct widget type, and we have widgets. That is correct. State.widgets, and that is displaying that in the console, right? Console, and the console is displaying correctly. Why are you not rendering? Let's take a look at also the component that's going to receive this, and that's where, let's see, that's the, let's take a look at widget list component. Widget list component, and it's going to render this right here. Let's put a breakpoint right there, and continue. Oh, it's not even calling the component. How about we do a widget list component. Let's see if we do a, what is it? Component will receive props. New props, and we'll say that this dot props dot widgets equal new props dot widgets. I'm sorry? Oh, sorry. All right, let's try that. Oops. Cannot assign a read-only property widgets. Oh, I can't do that? All right, I'll have to take a look at this. I'll take a look at this and I'll provide something later today. Okay?